Welcome to the VAR Brussels edition, the Volunteering Advocacy Report from the European Volunteer Centre, March 2020. Since 2018, we have been working on the CEV Vote Volunteer Vision campaign as part of our aims to engage more European citizens in the European Parliament elections. Part of the campaign was focused on trying to ensure the establishment of the Intergroup on volunteering. Members of the European Parliament themselves decide on which intergroups they would like to establish for each four-year mandate. The competition to be established as intergroups was strong, and unfortunately we were not successful in creating the volunteering intergroup. Despite this, there are very many MEPs committed to supporting volunteering and solidarity in Europe. And in this context, we organised in January, together with the three co-chairs, Michaela Sodrova, Irena Joveva and Dominic Ruiz, a first meeting for 2020 of the European Parliament Volunteering Interest Group. The meeting involved all the CEV board members and other volunteering stakeholder representatives, including from the Snapshots from the Borders project. The main topics of the exchange focused on the European Solidarity Corps and the lessons learnt and ongoing implementation, as well as suitable ways to mark the 10th anniversary of EYV 2011 in 2021. The next meeting of the interest group will be on the 15th of April, and the meeting will focus solely on the developments concerning the European Solidarity Corps. Don't forget to send your suggestions for ideas for the topics of future volunteering interest group meetings. As concerns the European Solidarity Corps, CEV participated in the large-scale event organised by the European Commission in January for European Solidarity Corps and Erasmus Plus stakeholders. The event, for over 700 participants, looked at how to make better synergies between the two programmes and how to make them even more inclusive to involve even more diverse partner and beneficiary groups. In February, there was a hearing in the European Parliament, organised by DEVI Committee, to consult with stakeholders and exchange ideas about the forthcoming integration of the EU Aid volunteer programme in the European Solidarity Corps, as a strand providing opportunities for volunteering jobs and traineeships, supporting actions in humanitarian aid operations in non-EU countries. The main issue under discussion was about the proposed age limit for participation in these actions. There is general consensus in the humanitarian aid and volunteering field that the focus for any volunteering or solidarity programme or action should be on finding the best candidate with the necessary skills and expertise for the tasks, rather than prioritising young people or any group as a group to be involved. In January, I participated in the first meeting of the newly established European Solidarity Corps Advisory Group, coordinated by the ESC Resource Centre in Vienna. Under discussion was the role and scope of the Advisory Committee, as well as discussions about what is understood by solidarity, how to ensure diverse groups are enabled to participate in the programme, both in terms of organisations and young participants, and what are the indicators of quality that we need to look for in ESC. I shared our expertise on mentoring as developed in the EVS Realm project together with CEV members and other stakeholders. The work of the expert group on mobility of young volunteers and cross-border solidarity is ongoing, and the guidance that has been prepared by the group for the European Commission to use to draft the updated recommendation is almost finished. CEV has been stressing that for a quality cross-border volunteering programme, it is not always necessary to have predefined and predetermined learning outcomes for the young volunteers. But rather, what is important is that they are provided with tools and guidance to identify learning outcomes during or following any experience, if doing so is important for them and they choose to do that. Differently for traineeships, where there should always be a clearly defined learning path to provide a quality experience that avoids job replacement and exploitation. CEV continues to contribute to the development and testing of the new Europass in collaboration with DG EMPL. continuing to stress that the new template should make it easy and accessible for volunteers to give visibility to their experiences and contributions made whilst volunteering, and any skills and competencies gained. Also, in collaboration with DG EMPL, we are active members of the EQF Advisory Group. EQF stands for European Qualifications Framework. In the first part of this year, we gave feedback on the status report from Kosovo about the implementation of the recommendation on the validation of non-formal and informal learning, and we are sharing our suggestions for the objectives and format of the second European Validation Festival that will be held in June later this year in Brussels. Our main work in the context of Civil Society Europe in this first part of the year has been focused on trying to ensure that European civil society networks will have a specific way to contribute to the Conference on the Future of Europe process. To this end, we have had meetings with the MEP rapporteurs on the topic and with the cabinet of the Commissioner responsible. We have also been sending and supporting CEV board members to send letters to members of the European Council who will decide on the functioning of the conference process. The purpose of the letters is to try to ensure that civil society will have a voice there alongside policymakers, trade unions and businesses. We are also engaging to see how the involvement of citizens at the local level will be an open and transparent process, and how civil society at the grassroots level can contribute to ensure that it happens in that way. Together with the other European organisations as members of SDG Watch Europe, we have been contributing to the creation of the recently formed MEPs for SDGs group. A dedicated informal group open to MEPs from all 27 member states, all committees and political groups committed to sustainable development, to bring them together with civil society organisations. The initiative is set up to foster collaboration between the European Parliament and CSOs, as well as the other EU institutions and also with the EU member states, to develop an informed, robust and coordinated approach towards the ambitious implementation of the SDGs in Europe. CEV's presence in this process highlights the important role of volunteers for reaching the SDGs and the need for suitable policies and programmes to support them in their efforts. On the 21st of January, the liaison group member organisations from civil society networks have elected Brikena Shomaji, Director of the Lifelong Learning Platform, as the new interim co-chair until the end of the year. This is to replace Connie Reuter, who had to end his mandate earlier than planned due to a change of employment. Finally, I'm pleased to let you know that the report from the Valuing Volunteering Conference held in November in Brussels as part of the CEV Autumn Volunteering Congress 2019 has been published. The report contains conclusions about how volunteering is essential for inclusive societies, that volunteering is a values-based action, and that volunteering needs a supportive infrastructure. There are also ideas about how volunteering contributes to achieving the SDGs and how the impact of the European Solidarity Corps can be maximised. Find the report in our February CEV news or on our social media or website. Share with us what you think about these conclusions. We'd love to hear from you and also to receive your volunteering advocacy reports from where you are. Until next time.